Friends, in this video, you're going to learn exactly what to do after you receive your appointment letter or your interview letter. Okay, now I say letter, but you're likely going to get this into your email, most 99.9%. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. We represent clients in all 50 states of America, from the East Coast to the West Coast. Now, friends, let's get to the details. Number one, what you want to do is celebrate. Congratulations that you received your interview appointment letter or your interview date, because I know you've been waiting a long time. So I just want to share outright, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. If you just have that one or two questions, our team won't be able to guide you to the right step. But if you need to have an interview preparation, we do offer a paid consultation. And what you can do, friends, is do that. So you can self-schedule at this website right here. But friends, if you do want to take advantage of the free 15 minutes, just that one or two questions, the way you can do that is, call or text us at that number, but share this not so secret code right here, Green Card Guys. All right. Now, if you have more time, fill out the intake form down below. It starts with Ting Law. Now, in terms of the details, what you need to do after you receive the interview date is that you want to prepare your travel, okay? But plan at least 1 week before. But actually, before you even plan the travel and how you're going to get there, all right, that is number one, you need to schedule your biometrics date. And number two, schedule your medical exam, all right? Now, but before you do all that, I want to make sure, if you are going, let's say you're in the US, right? You're already in the US as an immigrant beneficiary. I want to share a story with you. I've had some people call our office. Fortunately, thank goodness they did. And here's why. They had filed a petition on their own, or they hired a notary, immigration consultant. Number one, of course, if you haven't hired someone like that, but you considered it, please stay away. I know some people, they charge very low, and some they actually charge higher than lawyers. I don't get it. But worst case scenario, of course, talk to immigration licensed lawyers. But okay, back to the story. I've had people call our office and they said, John, I got an appointment letter, but I just have a feeling I really should not be going to the appointment. What's wrong? Okay, why am I feeling this way? And so, of course, I asked them the very standard questions that most immigration lawyers ask is, how did you enter the country? When did you enter the country? After you enter the country, United States, have you ever left the United States? Okay. What your immigration lawyers are trying to assess and analyze for you is if you have any potential triggering of the three-year bar or 10-year bar. Okay. And most people would have triggered a 10-year restriction, a 10-year bar. And that is triggered when, and I have a separate video about this, of course, but that it can be triggered after you lived in the United States for more than 1 year. So 365 days in America without legal status, without lawful status. So that's very common for pretty much everyone I talk to. For those who enter the United States without inspection, EWI, enter without inspection and without a visa. Now, so it only triggers at the time you leave the country. So that's the problem, right? We've actually advised a lot of people to stop. Everyone in this situation to stop the moment, and because they have not filed a waiver, family unity waiver, the 601A. So that is a solution to most people's immigration problem of a 10-year bar. But sometimes some people have a worse situation, and that's the permanent bar. Okay. There's a lot of different scenarios, situations where that could be triggered, but we'll save that for a separate video. So the main thing I want to share here as an extra tip here is that if you have an interview date, but you have not left the country yet, and you have entered the United States without a visa, without papers, but you have not filed the waiver, then you definitely need to talk to immigration lawyer, okay? Because National Visa Center, they don't know your facts about that. They're not going to give you legal advice to say, oh, by the way, you need to file a waiver. They don't do that at all, okay? In the NVC, what they do is usually email you a case number at least 1 or 2 months on average, they're supposed to, after the petition is approved. So by that time, you probably have gotten excited and said, oh my goodness, getting ready for an interview. I need to get going to my birth country. Look, you need to take a second and if you have not consulted with an immigration lawyer, this is definitely the time to do it, just to make sure whether you should go or not. Because I am serious that even if you think or try to lie to a U.S. officer at the consulate, they know your case front and back. They know your facts. And even if they don't know, they're going to ask you. And we've had people consult with us after the interview and said, oh my gosh, I don't know how I suddenly disclosed or told the officer that, I entered the country without papers. And then, I didn't think that would be a problem. Well, of course you didn't think that would be a problem because you may have not talked to an immigration lawyer. And so that is why I am sharing this, because many lawyers I've talked to know that there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that are not moderated or managed by immigration lawyers. Some are, of course, but for the most part, there's a lot monitored by non-lawyers. Okay, so you just want to be very careful of that. That's very important. We don't want a situation where your family or your spouse is suffering because you made a decision not to discuss your case with a lawyer and now have to wait 10 years. Now, of course, if you are stuck abroad, this is another tip. There are, depending on the situation, the reasons for being the consulate gave you reasons to stay outside America. Hopefully the only reason is for unlawful presence. But again, hopefully you don't even have that situation. But there are waivers, not for every situation, but that's another time you want to talk to an immigration lawyer. Okay, friends, so if you're just now catching the end of this, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. This is really to help guide, your 1 or 2 questions. But in this kind of scenario, this kind of case, to be honest, you would need more than 15 minutes. It'll usually be 30 to 45 minutes for a proper discussion for strategy. Okay. So, but otherwise, if you think you only need 15 minutes, then provide this not so secret code right here. Okay, friends, until next time, please continue wearing a mask. Stay safe.